Hello, today I'll be playing a standard deck. It's a white mid-range deck, so mono white but not weenie. Kind of show you really quick here. Um, it's pretty much about getting the Sanctuary Wardens down and just hopefully not getting farewelled. It has a bunch of small creatures that are mainly there for survival, and then once you get to your 5 mana slot, you just invoke Justice on whatever you got going on and out-tempo them basically. Tempo them into the mid game and then fly over with awesome creatures that draw you cards. Of course, the mono white feature is pretty nice that you never really get land screwed playing 24 lands, all white. Playing a single copy of Loran's Escape because I think for 1 mana, hexproof and indestructible is pretty good. The scry one can be relevant sometimes, but there's a couple things in this deck that you really just don't want to die to a single 2 mana removal spell, being of course like a Sanctuary Warden or a Serra Paragon. And when you blow them out for 1 mana, it just results in a scoop a lot of the time. So I think this one copy is pretty good. It doesn't really, or at least it doesn't often sit in your hand and make you feel like, why am I playing this card? Although it does sometimes, of course, like any kind of spell of this nature. But yeah, that's it. Alright, eat me completely. What do you got? This is a deck that I don't mind keeping 4 lands, only 3 non-lands. It's it's really about getting the Serra Paragon and the Sanctuary Warden, so it's not the worst thing to keep a lot of lands. The only thing that could really go wrong is drawing no non-lands or drawing all small land creatures. But all in all, this looks like a pretty good hand. See, against mono red, this is why I have so many small creatures in a mid-range deck, because it feels like I'm always matched up with mono red. But it's a good matchup. I would definitely take this over a control deck who's just gonna not die to me early and then destroy everything I have. This is a fine block. Definitely trade his 3/3 for my 3/2. Now, Adeline's a good blocker, but I would rather him play out his creatures now than just probably kill it. So here I get to... I could play the Paragon, but assuming he's playing a removal spell, being in Rakdos, of course, I think Adeline is better here. I get to attack, get a free creature. Lots of blockers is good. I could start drawing cards with Wedding Announcement next turn now that I have 3 1/1s. And of course, Serra Paragon lets me cast Adeline from the graveyard, so it's kind of a win-win. I think it's fine. I think I take that here. There's the Paragon, or the Sanctuary Warden. So I'll attack with 2, so I get my card draw. And I'll just play out a Paragon here. And I expect him to kill it, but he might not. Yeah, that was easy. Hopefully we get a bit of a better game this time. Opponent scooped it up pretty early on the first win. Now this, again, it doesn't seem like a good hand, but really the goal of the deck is to just get to 6. So I don't mind keeping a 4-land hand with this deck. I have a removal spell and a couple small creatures, so it's survivability. And like I said, as long as you don't get ran over, like this guy, he's playing weenie. He's much lower end than me. So as long as I don't let him kill me by turn 5, I assume I'll win. So this is an interesting choice here. I can I can chump, but I think it's best to just get rid of the Lord as soon as possible. And then next turn, probably Brutal Cathar, assuming he keeps up the tempo, which he should, being a low to the ground aggressive deck like this. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact. Huh. I've never seen that card. It's good. And it gets some card draw. Interesting card. But I'm feeling pretty confident here. I don't know what kind of high end he might have, but assuming it's a small soldier's deck, like I'm in pretty good shape, all in all. Oh, I think I just get rid of that as well. And then I get aggressive. It's not exactly the best thing I could be doing, but I feel pretty safe with the Wandering Emperor up and get rid of his things. Perfect. 5-mana Wandering Emperor. I love it. This is going to result in a scoop right here. I'm going to get another short one. Opponent stuck on 3 lands. Yeah, called it. Well, hopefully we'll get one good game where we get to the later mid-range game where the deck really shines. Alright, this will be the one where opponent doesn't scoop right away. I like his name, it's GTFO. Get out of here. This is a bit of a riskier keep than the last few, being on three lands. If I draw no lands and no small land, I might be stuck doing nothing. But I think it's good enough. Like if I draw one single land, then I got 2 4-drops that are quite strong. Is it soldiers or is it control? Probably control, seeing as he had no 2-drop. Oh yeah, 5 color. No black yet, but when I see this, I assume 5 colors. These were pretty good draws. I think I'll start with the Wedding Invitation. Makes him less likely a Fateful Absence or kill a... Well, either way, Adeline would have been the target of Destroy Evil. Oh man. I don't have a good feeling about this one. Drew no lands in the top 3? Or top 4? Yeah, top 4. And the opponent is playing a nice control deck. I really need to get some lands going and start doing my tempo thing, otherwise I am just going to lose to probably counterspells, board wipes, and planeswalkers. The worst thing he could do for me right now is play a land and drop it to fairy, but looks like that's not going to be the case. Alright. Land, that's good. I did need that. So what's the play here? I could attack and leave up the Wandering Emperor for a little combat trick, but it's not, doesn't seem that good. In that case, he's just going to chump the 1/1 that Adeline makes, and I'll buff it to kill his guy, and my token will live. I think it's actually better here to just Intrepid Hero. Or I could get the guarantee kill on the Wandering Emperor with Lay Down Arms on one of the tokens. That's what I'll do. I'll Lay Down Arms, I'll Brutal Cathar, and then I'll attack the Wandering Emperor with both. Not like it's the biggest threat out there, but it's good to get it off the board. Okay. It's too bad I didn't draw land. I would love to Intrepid Hero and leave up 1 mana for Loran's Escape. Like, I really want to have access to this, but I also don't want to waste my time. If I don't keep the pressure up now before he starts drawing more lands, like he's been stuck on 4, then it might be too late. So I think I'll just take the riskier play. I'll buff the squad. I'll make a token. It'll be a 2/2. He might double block it. He might chump the 2 bigger creatures. Let's see. Does he care more about board state or his health total? If he cares about board state, then that's indicative that he does not have a board wipe. So that's telling me that he really wants to draw cards with Wedding Announcement. So we'll probably attack with both here. Alright, good for you. Who plays this card? Oh, he didn't attack. He wanted more tokens. Okay, so this is fine. I could Invoke Justice on, grow my board a little bit, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I just play Serra Paragon. I keep up my 1 mana protection spell. I pass the turn. Next turn I get a recurred Wedding Announcement. Who saw that coming? Brutal Cathar on the top. I think it's pretty good. They got a bunch of tokens. Just permanent removal for the 2/2s, which are going to be 3/3s in a second here. Alright, what you got, opponent? GTFO. There's the Teferi. Don't like that. It's got a lot of protection for that boy. Now I think I just have to Invoke Justice. It's too bad. Like of course you want to get the value from Serra Paragon and cast it, but if I don't kill Teferi now and he draws into something powerful like a board wipe, then you're gonna have a bad time. So definitely want 2 there, and I guess we'll put 2 there. So the Cathar is bigger than any single one of his humans, and this guy's just sacrificed being a chump blocker. Maybe I should have attacked there with the 1/1 sacrificing it in order to get a card draw instead of a human. Okay. Does he have another Wedding Announcement in hand? He does. And he really wanted the card draw that time, so he sacked a 3/3. Seems bad for him, but each their own. I think here I attack with 2 creatures because I want to get my card draw. He double blocks the Cathar, which I just immediately cast with Serra Paragon and get rid of another one, so he loses 2/3/3s. It's a tough situation for him because he doesn't really have a choice, right? Like he doesn't want to do that. Now I'm pretty much in control here. I've got the better board state. I have 2 mana. I could play the Sungold Sentinel, exile something from the graveyard, and have a good threat for lethal next turn. But I think the way I lose this game is playing into a board wipe. Like if he draws Farewell and I played this, then it's a lot worse than if I don't. So I'm gonna sit back on it, get a card draw from Wedding Announcement. Lay down arms, yeah, that's too bad. Coulda, shoulda, woulda played the Sungold Sentinel. I still think I'm in fine shape here. I want my card draw here, so I'll attack with 2 creatures. And I'll just save my Cathar. Okay, so now if he farewells, he cannot hit the Wandering Emperor because it does not hit Planeswalkers, and it's on 4 loyalty counters. So I think I do Sungold Sentinel and I get rid of the Memory Deluge in his graveyard right now. 4, 5, 6, 7. He's got 7, so he could cast the Deluge next turn if he had nothing better to do. Surely he does with 2 new cards in hand plus his draw. But still, it's good to get rid of flashback cards whenever you can. You get instant value from the ATB effect here. Yes, Azorius player. Think real hard. I'm confused by this land here. He's got access to 2 additional colors that we've seen neither of. That's a tough one. I get rid of the Deluge because it has flashback, but I do also want to get rid of the Teferi. That's a weird play. Did he think that by bouncing this, it wouldn't exile his Deluge? I could put him to 1 if I don't block, but I think I'd rather have the Wandering Emperor alive, something for him to focus. Oh, his 4th copy of Wedding Announcement. That must be nice. Oh man, I'm getting a lot of lands here. That's okay. Now I get rid of the Teferi in case he has something like Invoke Justice. He's playing a lot of white, so he could. Get in for 4. And I'll just spread my power out evenly so I got 3 or 4 power creatures. Now, I know I keep saying it, but I'm just anticipating a Farewell. That's a card I lose to relatively often with this deck. Here I block with the Cathar, because I love exiling things from his graveyard. Everyone plays graveyard recursion. Mono white loves it. Even I love it. I got Serra Paragon going on. The opponent got 4 wedding announcements. Planeswalker. There it is. There's a farewell. I knew it was coming. And there's my Sanctuary Warden. So I like to keep at least one of the shield counters on it. But I also like to have the Wandering Emperor grow. So here I think I'll remove one counter from the shield counter from the Sanctuary Warden. I'll grow the Citizen, and then next turn when I attack, preferably I'll remove the counters from the Citizen. Otherwise, I'll remove them from the Wandering Emperor. And if I have to, I'll even remove it from the Sanctuary Warden, because drawing a card is just so good. It took me 22 cards from the top of my deck to get my Sanctuary Warden. I'm playing 4 copies, but that's fine. Alright, I got a chump blocker here, and you know, worst case he kills the Citizen, then he kills the Wandering Emperor. Not a big deal. I have the mana to play Sanctuary Warden from exile. Draws a card, okay. I don't love that. Opponent's at 3 here. He's got to be safe. Alright. No cards in hand for opponent. Not many better options than just dropping an 8 mana Sanctuary Warden and getting a card draw. So opponent needs an answer here. He gets 1 more card draw from Teferi, and he needs something to deal with a shield countered flyer. It's got to be an exile spell, or perhaps a return to hand spell. Come on, opponent, you're making me nervous here. Quit auto-tapping your mana. Manually tapping. Alright. Gets to look at the top 4. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. I could think of a few 5 mana spells that deal with Sanctuary Warden. Is he ever going to cast a red or green spell? Oh, he must have found something, because otherwise he would have drawn a card to dig deeper, right? Hmm. Okay. Just attack. I do not remove any counters. Yeah, the Wandering Emperor. Alright. He might have just barely made it. This Planeswalker is so powerful. Let's see. How do I win now? I need some sort of evasion to get in for 5. Oh boy. I think he's at the point now that if I don't win next turn, I just lose. So do I just take this, or do I try to do the battle of attrition? He's playing control, so there's no point in trying to win later while he's drawing an additional card every turn. Has two planeswalkers on board. So here I just hope to draw something that will buff the squad. Lay down arms, that's great. This could be it. That's exactly what I needed for a potential victory. There's not anything else I could do other than just swing out and hope to win. But it looks like an L anyways. It's got all that mana up, two cards in hand. Hmm. Shame. What a shame. Alright. Very good game. That's fine. This happens. I didn't win soon enough. This loss could actually be chalked up to the turn I didn't play the what is it called here? The 3/2 creature, the Sungold Sentinel. I should have been more aggressive with it. I really thought my board state was strong enough that I would win, but opponent played well. He controlled player. GG.